Hello everyone, and welcome to another random bits and pieces segment from my brain. So, it's been a minute since I've done this. Those of you who don't follow me on YouTube at all, I went on vacation and then I got super sick. So, yeah, I am back. I'm still lacking a little bit of energy, but I should be good to go here. So that's kind of the test. Those streams are usually fairly long for me. I mean, I'm not a streamer that does 8 and 10 hour sessions. So we'll see how that goes. So last time out we played against the Braves. It wasn't all that great. I believe we won the first game and then dropped the other two. So maybe, hopefully, a little bit more of a manageable challenge today. We're going to be facing the Marlins 3 times in Florida, and also like looking at us right there around the corner is going to be the trading deadline. So there's a chance that our lineup is not going to be what it is today by the end of this stream. So I hope that if our GM does some trading, that he gets some value back. He did get some value out of Mark Whitten, and the value is going to start today for us. It's going to be Tom Gordon on the mound for us. He's been pretty good for us since we acquired him. Tom Gordon is a little bit more of a starter in my universe than a reliever as he was in real life, or at least, for most of his career as I remember it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We have Carl Pavano, that's hurt. Katsumasa Ota is also hurt. Mark Gubisa should be back and make his season debut in a week or so. I want to check here because I did get... Okay, yeah, Pavano is there. He's long relief. And I had put Gabe White in there. Alright. Alrighty, so let's get started. We're going to be facing Mike Morgan. Oh yeah, there's a couple of things I wanted to check too. So we're going to be facing Mike Morgan. Not that great of a season for him, but then again the Marlins are kind of struggling. The Marlins are 39, 63, and 63. That's very close to our record, so I guess we're struggling too. Alright, let's take a look. So Lee Hancock is out for the season, not gonna play, and Terry Schumpert is hurt, and he is not going to play. 1993. Alright, now I'm ready for real, so let's get this thing going. Alright, I'm gonna make some changes to my lineup. Let's give Johnny Nutt a start at first. And then let's give Todd Ainey a start at short. Wait, Ainey or Barberry? Oh, you know what I can do? I can put Barberry in, which is better than... And then I can put Woody Green at short, and then Barberry at third. How about that? I'm gonna have Johnny Nutt hit 8 today. So Johnny Nutt has hit a couple home runs lately, but if I remember correctly, they've been in losing efforts, so it is what it is. Alright, so that's I'm going to go with for game number 1 here against the Marlins. Marlins are going to go with Mike Bordick, Brooks Kieschnick, Sean Berry, Don Mattingly, Bubba Trammell, Milt Thompson, Joe Oliver, and Alvaro Espinoza. Right, so I'm still struggling with my throat a little bit. I don't know how my broadcasting voice is gonna be and how long it's gonna last today. I'm gonna do my best. Alright, so go Expos and play ball. Ooh, Yeah, I remember that it was pretty much their colors when they entered the league. It's not quite pretty. Alright, so we are on the road, so we bat first, obviously, if you're not super familiar with baseball. And Mike Morgan is on the mound for the Marlins, and Delino the Shields is getting us started here, and there's no count on the Shields. Alright, so we lost 4 out of 6 against the Marlins. I would love to turn our fortunes around here with a good game. And the Shields, it's at left and it falls in. Alright, so we get things started here with a base hit for the Shields. So runner on first and nobody out for Marquise Grissom. No count to him. Grissom, it's it pretty well. Oh wow. All the way to the fence. Alright, the Shields holds at third base, so we have runners on second and third with nobody out. That's a prime opportunity for Ivan Calderon here. So we saw Ivan Calderon's average drop. He was in the 400s for a very long time, and now he's hitting for 355. That's still really good, but it's nowhere near where he was. So a base hit here would more than likely score 2 runs. So let's go Ivan. 0-2. That's it to center. That's a base hit. Alright, so the Shields goes and scores. And sorry, Grissom also scores, so that's 2-0 for the Expos here. Nobody out, runner on first. Charles Johnson is the next batter. 1-1. It's it weakly to shortstop, and that's out number 1. Woody Green is next. 0-1. Oh. And Calderon is safe with a stolen base, even with the pitch out. 1-2 to Green, and it's it to center. Oh, what a catch by Brooks Kieschnick there. He dives for it and catches it. That's out number 2. Now Brett Barberry is the next batter. 2-2. That's it, weakly pop fly to the second baseman. And Bordick is there, catches the ball for out number 3, but we scored twice on the Ivan Calderon single, and we are up 2-0 here in inning number 1. Alright, let's see if Tom Gordon can continue to pitch pretty well for us. He's going to face Mike Bordick here. No count. Grounds it to the pitcher, and he's thrown out at first. That's out number 1. Brooks Kieschnick is next. 1-1 to Kieschnick. Oh, he tries to bunt, but he misses, so it's 1-2 now. 2-2. It's it weakly, and Woody Green catches it for out number 2. Sean Barry is the next batter. 1-2 to Barry. That's it weakly. That was a terrible pitch to swing at. And Grissom is there to catch it. That's out number 3. Alright, Reuben Rivera, our first batter in the second inning. 3-1 to Rivera. And he walks. Alright. Johnny Knott is next with a runner on first. Nobody out. No count. Oh, Rivera's going, and he's safe. Alright. Even though I reduced his stealing tendencies a little, he still went. That's okay. I didn't make him never try to steal or anything. Johnny Knott. Alright. Come on, Johnny, be good. 3-1. That's it to center for a base hit. Alright. On the play, Rivera doesn't score because he held to see if the ball was going to fall down. So now we have runners on extremities with nobody out. Tom Gordon is the batter. No count. Oh. Oh! Alright, so not try to steal, and then Oliver pitched the ball in the outfield, making Rivera come to score. So now it's 3-0. We have a runner on third with nobody out. 2-2 to Tom Gordon. He struck out swinging. Alright, Delino the Shields is next. 2-2 to him. That's it. Weakly to left. Should be cut. And it is. Alright, and on the plate, Johnny Nutt doesn't risk it. So now we have Marquise Grissom, the batter. There's 2 outs. Runner on third. 0-2. And Grissom struck out swinging. But we add 1 run to our lead. It is now 3-0 for the Expos. Alright, that brings up Don Mattingly. 1-1 to Mattingly. Grounds it to second base, and he's thrown out. That's the first out of the inning. Boba Trammell is next. 1-2. That's it to left. Center left. Grissom after it, and he catches it for out number 2. Milt Thompson is the next batter. Full count to him. And he struck out swinging, so the Marlins are down 1-2-3. And we are heading into the top of the third, where Ivan Calderon is going to get things started for us. No count. That's it to right. It has some carry, but not enough, and it's got by Trammell for the first out. Near the warning track. Charles Johnson is next. 0-1 to Johnson. It's it weakly to center field, and that's out number 2. Woody Green is next. 0-1. Oh, that's it with some carry to right. That one leaves the field, and it is a home run for nothing for the Expos. Good swing there by Woody Green. Always had a little bit of pop in his bat. Was through last year as a rookie for me as well. Now Brett Barberry is next. Full count. That's it to short. Espinosa with the throw, and Barberry is out. So we add 1 more run to our lead thanks to a solo blast by Woody Green. It is 4-0 for the Expos. Bottom of the third, Joe Oliver is the batter for the Marlins. 2-2 to him. Oh, that was a terrible pitch to swing at. That's strike 3, and that's out number 1. Now Alvaro Espinosa is next. 1-1. Grounds it to third. That's out number 2. Mike Morgan is next. 3-1. And we walk the pitcher. Alright, so Morgan gets to first on the walk. Mike Bordick is next. 0-2 to Bordick. That's it weakly to center. That wasn't a very good pitch to swing at. And Grissom catches it. That's out number 3. Top of the fourth, we have Reuben Rivera. He drew a walk his first time out. 1-1 to him. Grounds it to second. And he's thrown out for out number 1. Johnny Nutt is next. Come on, Johnny, be good. 1-1. Grounds it to second, and he's thrown out at first for out number 2. Tom Gordon is next. No count to Gordon. It's a kind of weakly to center field. Kieschnick is after it, catches it for out number 3. Alright, so Brooks Kieschnick is the first batter in the 4th inning for the Marlins. 0-1. That's it to center. Oh, Grissom with the dive. And that's out number 1. Excellent play by Marquise. Oh no, that's Rivera, sorry. I did forget that before I left for vacation, we swept Grissom and Rivera position, so my center field is Reuben Rivera. Grissom plays in right. I forgot about that. So I'm sorry, I have misguided all of you. Alright, Sean Berry is next. No count to Berry. That's it to right. Towards Grissom. Gotta try this time. That's out number 2. Don Mattingly is next. 1-0. That's it to center, and Rivera catches it for out number 3. Marlins go down 1-2-3 yet again. Alright, Top of the fifth, we have Delino the Shields as our first batter. 1 and 2. That's it to second. Bordick with the throw, and the Shields is out at first. Marquise Grissom is next. 3 and 0. And he walks. And knowing my settings, there's a really big chance that Marquise Grissom is going to go. 2 and 2. Struck out, and he went, and he's safe. So 57th stolen base for Marquise Grissom, but Ivan Calderon struck out on the play, so now there's 2 outs. Runner on second with Charles Johnson is the batter. 3 and 1 to Charles, and he walks. So we have runners on first and second now with 2 outs, and that's going to bring up Woody Green, who already has a home run to his name today. 2 and 0, good hitters count. That's it really well all the way to the fence. That's going to be extra bases. Grissom scores on the play. Charles Johnson probably scores as well. Yep. So it's a double. So a 2 RBI double, 2 out. 2 RBI double for Woody Green. It is now 6-0 for the Expos. And now the Marlins have had enough. They are bringing in a reliever. It's going to be Sandy Diaz on the mound. Brett Barberry is next. 0-1, 2 outs, runner on second base. That's it, weakly to third. The throw by Barry to the first baseman, and he is out. But the Expos add 2 more runs. We are now up 6-0 here in Florida. Right, Boba Trammell is next. 0-1. Grounds it to second base, and that's out number 1. Milt Thompson is next. 1-0 to him. That's it to left, and it's going to fall in. So that's the first base hit of the game for the Marlins. That's an opposite field base hit for Milt Thompson. And now Joe Oliver is the next batter. With a runner on first, 1 out. Full count. Grounds it to second. And that's a double play. Oh yeah. So the Marlins get their first hit of the game, but we took care of that in short order with a double play with the next batter. And that gets out of the inning. And we are still up 6-0 here in the top of the 6th. Sandy Diaz is still pitching for the Marlins. We now have Reuben Rivera as the batter here. 0-1. Grounds it to second base, and he's out. Johnny Nutt is next. 2-2. Oh, Johnny Nutt here. Struck out looking. That's out number 2. Tom Gordon is now the batter. 0-1, 2 outs. That's it weakly to the pitcher. And he's thrown out at first. That's out number 3. Alright, so bottom of the 6th, Alvaro Espinosa is going to be the batter for the Marlins. No count to him. That's it pretty solidly to left, and that's a base hit. So that's a single for Espinosa to start the 6th inning for the Marlins. Right, Rondell White is going to be the batter now. 2-1. That's it to center for a base hit. A base hit. Alright, so now there's runners on first and second. Nobody out. Mike Bordick is now the batter. 1-2. Struck out swinging. Take a seat, Mike Bordick. Now Brooks Kieschnick is next. 1-1. That's it weakly to third base. Barberry gets it for out number 2. So after 2 outs, just like that, the runners haven't moved, and Sean Berry is the batter. 0-2, and he struck out looking. So the Marlins get runners on first and second with nobody out, and they did not even advance the runners, let alone make them score. So it is 6-0. So for the Expos, we played that pretty good. Right, Scott Sullivan is going to be the next pitcher here for the Marlins. And he's going to face Delino the Shields first. 1-1 to the Shields. That's it to center. Kieschnick after it. And he catches it for out number 1. That brings up Marquise Grissom. 2-1. Grounds it to third. And he's thrown out for out number 2. Brings up Ivan Calderon next. 2-2 to Ivan Calderon. And he struck out swinging. So the Expos don't get much here in inning number 7. But they still have a sizable 6-0 lead. Don Mattingly is next. 1-2. That's it. Weekly to right. Grissom after it. Catches it for out number 1. Bubba Trammell is next. 2-2. Grounds it to the pitcher. And he's out. So that's 2 outs now. Milt Thompson with 2 outs, 1-1. That's it. Opposite field single for Milt Thompson again. That one's going to be extra bases maybe. Yep, that's a double. Alright, so double for Milt Thompson. 2 outs. Runner on second, obviously. Joe Oliver is the batter now. Full count. That's it, pretty good to center, but it's got by Rivera for out number 3. So just like that, the Marlins are done, and it is still 6-0 for the Expos going into the top of the 8th. Charles Johnson is the first batter here, full count, and he walks. Pretty good game here. Right, Woody Green is next. He has a really good game. 3 RBIs, a home run, a double, 2 for 3. Oh, Charles Johnson is going. And he's safe. He doesn't steal very often, but he's usually successful when he does. 1-2. Oh, Woody Green struck out. Alright, Brett Barberry is next. 2-2. Struck out swinging. Scott Sullivan here getting a grip here and striking out our batter. Rivera 0-2. Swung at a pitch that was gunning for his face. So he struck out the side after everything was said and done. After walking Charles Johnson. Alright, Tom Gordon is going to stay on the mound. Alvaro Espinoza is the batter now. 0-1. And that's cut. That was a little pop fly to first base. Johnny Nutt catches it for out number 1. Julian Yan is now the pinch hitter for the Marlins. 1-0. That's it weekly. Rivera after it. Catches it for out number 2. Mike Bordick is next. 2-1. That's it weekly to left. Calderon after it. Catches it for out number 3. Right, sorry about that. So the Marlins brought in another reliever. Brandon Reed is now the pitcher for them. Johnny Nutt is getting us started here in the top of the 9th. 0-1. Ooh, that's it pretty good. That's another home run for Johnny Nutt. Man, I might want to find him a spot in my lineup. He's been hitting the ball pretty well lately. Alright, so it's 7-0 now for the Expos, following that solo shot by Johnny Nutt. Tom Gordon is going to remain in the game. He has a shot at a complete game shutout. 1-2. And he struck out looking. 1 out for Delino De Shields. 1-0. Grounds it to short. And he's thrown out for out number 2. That brings up Marquise Grissom. 1-2 to Grissom. Struck out swinging. Alright, so the Expos are done in the 9th, but they strike for 1 more run. It is Expos 7, Marlins nothing. All right, Brooks Kieschnick is first in the bottom of the ninth, 2-1. That's it weakly to center. Rivera after it catches it for out number 1. Then Sean Berry is next. 0-1 to Sean Berry. Grounds it to third. Oh, that's a bad throw. So Berry ends up at second base there. With 1 out, Don Mattingly is the batter. Full count. It's it really weakly to in foul territory. Barberry catches it for out number 2. All right. And now Bubba Trammell is next. 1-1. That's it weakly. Barberry after it catches it for the last out. So that's a complete game shutout for Tom Gordon. He's been really good since we got him. I actually don't miss Mark Whitten all that much. Alright, so we win game 1 of the series here. Pretty convincing 7-0 win. Alright, let's see here. Alright, so we saw that was our game. Perez holds Mariners scoreless, so Melido Perez also had a complete game shutout against the Mariners. No hits for Velasquez, streak ends at 21. So Guillermo Velasquez of the Padres was on a 21 game inning streak, but he was stopped by the Reds. Is there going to be another trade? There's a couple more days for that to happen. No trades today. Even if it's not my team, I still like to see trades that happen. Alright, so... yeah, that was a pretty good game. We're gonna play game number 2 now. So for game number 2, we're gonna be facing Pat Combs. Looks like he's been... oh yeah, that's true, they just acquired him not too long ago. He was used mostly as a reliever by the Phillies, but looks like he was used as a starter for his 1 game with the Marlins this season, and he went 8 innings and won. So yeah, that might be difficult, I don't know. We'll see. We're going to be sending Carlos Perez. That means that we have a lefty duel on the mound today. Alright, I think I'm gonna keep this here. So we're gonna have Grissom, Barberry, Calderon, Charles Johnson, Bill Doran, Reuben Rivera, the line of the Shields. The pitcher is gonna be hitting 8. It's Carlos Perez, that's fitting. Then Ray Sanchez as the 9th hitter. Marlins are gonna go with Sean Berry, Mike Bordick, Rondell White, Tom Brunansky, Julian Yan, Joe Oliver, Brooks Kieschnick, and Alvaro Espinoza. Alright, so a little bit of a different look for them as well. So, play ball! Let's go ahead and see if we can win game number 2 of that series against the Marlins. Alright, so Grissom is getting us started here. 1-1 to him. And look at the mitt for the pitcher. He has a catcher's mitt. Oh, Grissom with the single to center to start the game. Awesome. Yeah, he has a catcher's mitt. Or at least that's what it looks like. Alright, so runner on first, nobody out for Brett Barberry. There's a strong chance that Grissom is going to go. 1-0. Oh, not even a throw. Alright, so Grissom gets to second base with his 58 stolen base this season. Full count to Barberry. Grounds it to third. And he is out for out number 1. So it looks like Pat Combs is kind of pitching like sideways. Calderon is next, 2-1. Not sideways, it's a sidearm is what it's called. There's 2 outs now. Charles Johnson is the batter, 3-1. Oh, and he walks. Alright, so we have runners on first and second with 2 outs. Next batter is going to be Billy Doran, 2-2. That's it, weakly to second base, and he's thrown out for out number 3. Alright, so we get 2 runners on, but we cannot capitalize, and we are still tied at 0-0 going into the bottom of the first. Carlos Perez has been really struggling this season, so I am not expecting much of anything from him. And he is facing Sean Berry first here. No count to Berry. That's it, weakly to right for a base hit. Alright, so it falls in front of Grissom. And the Marlins have a runner on base with nobody out. Mike Bordick is next, 2-2. Struck out swinging. Alright, we'll take it. Rondell White is the next batter, 2-0. That's it to left. Calderon after it. And he got it for out number 2. The runner has to retreat to first. Now Tom Brunansky is the batter, 1-2. It's weakly to the pitcher. He's thrown out at first. The Marlins get a base runner, but they cannot score. It is still tied at 0 apiece. Alright. Reuben Rivera is the first batter in the second inning, 1-1. Oh, that's it, with some carry to left. And it's a home run. Reuben Rivera with the solo blast gives us the 1-0 lead here in inning number 2. Alright, Delino the Shields is next. Full count to the Shields. It's at weakly to third. And they're gonna eat it. It's an infield single for the Shields. Runner on first, nobody out. Carlos Perez is now the batter. 1-1. And he bunts. And he's thrown out at first. Sacrifice works. So runner on second with 1 out for Ray Sanchez, who had the day off yesterday, 2-2. That's it to right. And that's caught by Brunansky. And on the play, the Shields makes it to third base. Alright, so we have 2 outs. Runner on third. Marquise Grissom is the batter, 2-0. Grounds it to the pitcher, and he's thrown out at first. But the Expos get 1 run on the solo blast by Reuben Rivera. And it is 1-0 Montreal over the Marlins. Julian Yan is the batter, 2-1. That's it to center for a base hit. So Julian Yan gets on base with nobody out. Joe Oliver is the next batter, 2-2. That's it to center. Rivera after it catches it for out number 1. So there's 1 out now. Brooks Kieschnick is next. No count. It weakly to center. Rivera after it catches it for out number 2. Wow, Rivera's doing a lot of defensive work in this game so far. Alvaro Espinoza is next. 2 outs. No count. That's it to right for a base hit. So opposite field single for Espinoza. And that happens with 2 outs. So there's runners on the extremities now. And Pat Combs is going to be the batter, 0-2. Struck out swinging, and that's it for the Marlins in the second inning. As usual, Carlos Perez is having a lot of problems with runners on base. He allows a lot of runners on base. Lots of hits, walks, everything. Right, Brett Barberry is next. 2-2. That's it. Right at the third baseman. That was kind of a liner there. And that's out number 1. Ivan Calderon is next. 2-2 to him. Grounds it to short. Oh, and then he boots it. So Calderon is safe at first on the error by Espinosa. Charles Johnson is next. 3-1. Grounds it to short, and that's a double play. And the Marlins get out of that inning pretty well, all things told. Right, Sean Berry is next. 0-2. Struck out swinging. Mike Bordick is next. 2-1. That's it to center. Rivera with the catch. Oh, another diving catch for Reuben Rivera. That's out number 2. And now Rondell White is next. 1-2. Struck out swinging. Goodbye, Rondell. And the Marlins are out. 1-2-3. All right, Billy Duran is next. 0-1. That's it to short. Espinosa with the ball, and he throws him out. That's 1 out. Reuben Rivera is next. 2-1. That's it to right, and it's gonna fall in. So Rivera has a solo blast and a single so far. So pretty good game for him so far, and that incredible catch at center field as well. Alright, so 1 out, runner on first. Delano De Shields is next. 3-1. That's it to right for a base hit. Alright, so we have runners on first and second with 1 out. And now Carlos Perez is the batter. Oh, runners going. Oh. They got Rivera out at third. On the play, De Shields gets to second base. And Carlos Perez struck out, so we're out of that inning. So it looked like we would maybe do some damage, but we shot ourselves in the foot. Alright, Tom Brunansky. It's first for the Marlins in the bottom of the 4th. No count to him. And that's it really well into that little corner near center field. And that's going to be a double for Tom Brunansky. So the Marlins get a runner in scoring position with nobody out. Ulian Yan is next. 2-0. That's it, weekly. Oh, and it's not caught by the Shields. And on the play, Brunansky does not score. Okay, so runners on first and third, nobody out. And now Joe Oliver is the batter, so a strikeout here would be pretty good. 1-1. And that's it to left with some carry, and it's out of here. That's 3-1 for the Marlins now. As usual, Carlos Perez struggles. He allows a 3-run blast to Joe Oliver, and it is 3-1 for the Marlins. Like Brooks Kieschnick is next. 2-2 to him. Struck out swinging for out number 1. Alvaro Espinosa is next. 2-1. Grounds it to short. And he's thrown out for out number 2. Now Pat Combs is next. Full count to Pat Combs. Struck out swinging. Alright. Okay, so Ray Sanchez is getting us started in the top of the 5th. 2-2. Grounds it to short. And he's thrown out for out number 1. Marquise Grissom is next. 3-0. And he walks on 4 pitches. Right, Brett Barberry is going to be next. Runner on first, one out. No count. Grissom is going. And he's safe. 59 stolen bases for him. 1-1. That's it to right, and that looks like it. Yeah, it's a base hit all the way to the fence. Grissom is going to score on that. It's going to be 3-2. It's a double for Brett Barberry. All right. Now Ivan Calderon is next. 1-2. That's it to short. And he's thrown out for out number 2, sorry. Second out of the inning, so now there's 2 outs. Runner on second base. Charles Johnson is the batter, so a base hit here would tie the game. Full count, and he walks. So runners on first and second now with 2 outs. And Bill Doran is the batter, 1-2. And that's it, right at the second baseman. And that's out number 3, but the Expos cut the lead in half, and it is now 3-2 for the Marlins, heading into the bottom of the 5th. Sean Berry is next, no count to him. And that's it to right, and it falls in for a base hit. So as you, again, Carlos Perez struggles with, runners on base. Mike Bordick is next, runner on first, nobody out, no count. Oh, Bordick bunts, and that's a successful sacrifice. So Barry is now at second base with 1 out. Rondell White is the batter, 1-0. That's it weakly to third. Barberry under it, catches it for out number 2. The runner cannot advance. And now Tom Brunanski is next, 1-2. And he struck out swinging. All right. So we managed to get out of that, and it is still 3-2 for the Marlins going into the top of the 6th. All right, Reuben Rivera is going to be the next batter, 0-1. Oh, that's it really well. All right, so all the way to the fence. Rivera's going to stop with a double. He's having a pretty good game, Rivera, other than the fact that he got caught stealing. Right, so runner on second base, nobody out. Delano De Shields is the next batter, 0-1. That's it weakly. And it's going to be cut by Yan at first, so there's 1 out. Carlos Perez comes to the plate now, 2-1. Come on, Carlos. That's it. Oh, that's a base hit down the line. Is that going to be good for... That's a double. And he ties the game, helps his own cause with a RBI double. Ray Sanchez is next, runner on second with 1 out. Grounds it to third, and he is out. Alright, Grissom is next. There's 2 outs. Runner and a runner on second base, 1-0. And Grissom hits it safely. Perez going for home now. He holds on at third. So runners on first and third, 2 outs, and Brett Barberry is the batter now, 1-0. Oh god. Oh, that happened again. So we attempted a steal, and they threw it into the outfield again, like in the previous game. So now we scored. So Perez scored. Grissom makes it to third base on the play. We are now up 4-3, and Brett Barberry is still the batter, 2-0. Grounds it to short, and he's out. But we take the lead thanks to a couple hits and a throw in the outfield. It is 4-3. Bottom of the 6th, Ulian Yan is going to be the first batter for the Marlins. Full count, 3-2. And he walks. That's the first walk allowed by Carlos Perez this game. Joe Oliver is next. Of course, we remember Oliver's 3-run blast a couple innings ago. Alright. So that's a bunt. Alright, so Yan makes it to second base on the sacrifice. And now they are bringing in a pinch hitter. Jason Bates is going to be hitting for Brooks Kishnik. Full count with one out. Bates with the weak hit. And it's cut by Rivera at center. There's 2 outs now. Alvaro Espinosa is the next batter. No count to him. And we're going to go ahead and just walk him. And now they're bringing in Don Mattingly as a pinch hitter for the pitcher. 2-0. That's it to center. And it's cut by Rivera. Oh, he might be hurt. No, he can stay in the game. Whew. With the game he's having, I don't want for him to get hurt. That would suck. Alright, so Marlins bring in a reliever. It's John Hope. And Ivan Calderon is going to be the first one to face him in the top of the 7th here. No count. Oh. Alright, so Calderon gets it. So we have a runner on first, nobody out. Charles Johnson is next. Full count. And he walks. Alright. So we have 2 runners on base without swinging the bat. So runners on first and second, nobody out. Bill Doran is the next batter. 1-1. Oh, runners are going. And everybody's safe. Alright, so we have runners on second and third now with nobody out still. Full count to Bill Doran, and that's a base hit. That should score 2. No, it only scored 1. Alright, so now we make the lead bigger with a base hit by Bill Doran. It is now 5-3 for the Expos. Runners on first and third with nobody out. Reuben Rivera is next. 0-2. Hits it to second base, and he hits into a double play. Now there's a run that scores that doesn't count as an RBI too. Alright, so now we have 2 outs, nobody on, but we did score a run. It is now 6-3 for the Expos. Now the Shields is the batter. No count. That's it to right. Should be cut by Brunansky. And it is for out number 3. Alright, so the Expos add to their lead. It is now 6-3 for the Expos. Alright, so Carlos Perez is going to be facing Sean Barry next. 1-2. And he struck out swinging, so that's out number 1. Mike Bordick is next. 0-1. Grounds it to the pitcher. He's thrown out at first. That's out number 2. Brings up Rondell White next. 1-0. Grounds it to third. And he's thrown out. That's out number 3. Alright, so John Hope is still on the mound for the Marlins. We are going to... what do I do here? Yeah, I think I'm gonna go to the pen. He did allow 3 runs, 7 hits, so for him that's pretty good actually. So I guess we're gonna count our blessings. Alright, so Woody Green is gonna come as a pinch hitter. One and 2. That's it to right. Brunansky after it. Catches it for out number 1. Ray Sanchez is next. 1 and 2. Struck out swinging. That's 2 outs now. Now Marquise Grissom is next. No count. Oh. And he's it. So that's 2 guys that got it here in that game by John Hope. Now Brett Barberry is next. 2 outs. 3-1. And he is out on a grounder to first. That's the 3rd out of the inning. Let's try to go with John Doris. Tom Brunansky is the first one to face him, 0-1. That's grounded to first, and he's out. Ulian Yan is next, 2-2. Oh, struck out looking. Joe Oliver is next, 0-1. Grounds it to third, and he's thrown out. The Marlins go down 1-2-3 in the 8th, and the Expos are still up 6-3. Oh, former Montreal Expo Andy Hawkins is now the pitcher for the Marlins. He's going to be facing Ivan Calderon, facing his old teammate. 1-0. Grounds it to the pitcher. He's thrown out. That's out number 1. Alright, Charles Johnson is next. 3-0. And he walks. Walked on 4 pitches. Billy Doran is next. 1-0. Oh, that might be a double play. No, they only get the lead runner. So that's a fielder's choice. Doran is safe at first. 2 outs. Reuben Rivera is next. 3-0 to him. And he walks on 4 pitches as well. Alright. Runners on first and second. 2 outs. Now Delino De Shields is the batter. 0-1. And that's it to right for a base hit. That should be good for at least a run. Yep. It is now 7-3. Alright, we're gonna use a pinch hitter. I think I'm gonna bring Johnny Nutt. He has his bat on fire. Alright, come on, Johnny. Alright, so we have runners on second and third now. 2 outs. Johnny Nutt is the batter. 1-1. Come on, Johnny. Oh, they decided to walk in. They're not gonna mess with Johnny Nutt's hot bat. So now the bases are loaded with 2 outs. Ray Sanchez is the batter. 0-1. That's it to short, and they get him at first. Alright, so we got 1 run, but we leave the bases loaded. It is now 7-3 going into the bottom of the 9th. Alright. I guess I'm going to go with Kerrigan, since I'm facing a couple lefties here. So Milt Thompson is the first one. 1-2 to him. Oh, and he's safe. All right, that's an infield hit. Alvaro Espinosa is next. Runner on first, nobody out. 2-1. That's it to left, but right at Calderon, so that's out number 1. Bubba Trammell is next. Comes in as a pinch hitter. No count to him, and that's a balk. Two and 2. Oh, struck out like he held his swing, but it was right in the middle of the plate. There's 2 outs now. Sean Berry is next. 1-2. And he struck out looking. Alright, so the Expos win game 2 as well. 7-3. So 7 is our lucky number. Won 7-0 the first game, and now win the second game 7-3. So Carlos Perez got a rare win this season, so that's good for him. Green twirls a 3-0 shutout. So Tommy Green got traded to the Reds this season. So he got a shutout against the Padres. Alright, are we gonna see some trades? there's been a trade between the White Sox and the Phillies. Alright, so today is the trade deadline. Alright, so... oh! So Pete Incaviglia goes to the White Sox. And Steve Olson, Miguel Ojeda, and Mike Durant are going to the Phillies. So a pitcher and 2 catchers. Alright, so Pete Incaviglia is now with the White Sox. That's interesting. Alright, so that's going to be the last game of the 3-game series here against the Marlins. And for the occasion, we're going to be facing Chris Ammon, another lefty. And we are going to send another lefty of our own, Jose Rosado, who's been pretty good for us this season. He's been our all-star. He went to the all-star game. And he's been generally pretty good. Alright, so not much else to check here. Alright, so yeah, I'm gonna go with that lineup. I just won with it, so I'm gonna stick to it. And let's see here. So the Marlins are gonna go with Sean Berry, Mike Bordick, Rondell White, Tom Brunansky, Don Mattingly, Joe Oliver, Brooks Kieschnick, and Alvaro Espinoza. So a very similar lineup, except that Don Mattingly is back at first base for Ulian Yan. Alright, let's play ball and see if we can win here. Chris Ammon. Oh, I can't see nothing. Yeah, it's been a little tough for Chris Ammon this season. Alrighty. Let's get this thing going. Of course, go Expos! Alright, so Grissom gets us started in the top of the first. Facing Chris Ammon. Full count to Grissom. That's it to first, and he's out. So that's out number 1. Brett Barberry is next. No count to Barberry. Grounds it to short, and he's thrown out for out number 2. Ivan Calderon is next, 1 and 2. And he's struck out swinging. Alright. So we're down 1, 2, 3. Alright, so Rosado's going to face Sean Berry first. 1 and 2. And that's a strikeout. Mike Bordick is next, 1 and 1. Sit to center, Rivera after it. Catches it for out number 2. Rondell White is next. 0 and 2 to Rondell White. It's it to third, and we are going to eat it. That's an infield single. Rondell White is safe at first with 2 outs. Tom Brunansky is next, 2 and 2 to him, and he struck out swinging. All right. Charles Johnson is the first batter in the top of the second for us, 1 and 1. That's it to left. It has a little bit of carry, but the White gets to it, and that's out number 1. Billy Doran is next. Full count to Billy Doran. It's it to second base, and he's out. That's 2 outs. Reuben Rivera is next, 3-2. And he struck out looking. Alright, so we're down 1-2-3 again. And now the Marlins are going to bring Don Mattingly to bat. No count. And he is out on a grounder to first. Joe Oliver is next, 1-1 to Oliver. It's it to right. Grissom after it. And he catches it for out number 2. Brooks Kieschnick is next, 0-1. That's it to right, and Grissom catches that as well. And the Marlins are also down 1-2-3. We are going into the top of the third with Delino the Shields getting things started for the Expos. Full count to the Shields. It's it to center, and Kieschnick catches it for out number 1. Jose Rosado is next. No count. Grounds it to the pitcher. Thrown out at first. That's out number 2. Ray Sanchez is next. No count to Sanchez. Grounds it to short, and he's thrown out at first. So the Expos are down in order yet again. So that's a perfect 3 innings for Chris Salmon so far. Alvaro Espinosa is the first batter here for the Marlins. Full count. And he struck out swinging. Chris Salmon is next. 3-1. That's it to left for a base hit. Falls in front of Calderon. And there's a runner on first with 1 out for Sean Barry. 3-0. Walks on 4 pitches. Alright, so the Marlins now have runners on first and second with 1 out. Mike Bordick is next, 1-2. Struck out swinging. That brings up Rondell White with 2 outs now, 2-2. That's it to third. We get the runner at second base and the inning is over. So the Marlins get 2 runners on, but they can't do nothing with them. And we are going into the top of the 4th for Marquise Grissom. No count. That's it weakly to the pitcher. He's thrown out for out number 1. Brett Barberry is next. 2-2. Grounds it to third. And they throw him out. That's out number 2. And now we have Ivan Calderon, the batter. 1-2. And he struck out swinging. Go take a seat, Ivan. And that's 4 perfect innings for Chris Salmon so far. Right, so Rosado is now going to be facing Tom Bernansky in the bottom of the 4th. No count. Grounds it to third. And he's out. That's out number 1. Don Mattingly is next, 1-0. Grounds it to short, and he's thrown out easily. That's 2 outs now. Now Joe Oliver is going to be the next batter. No count to Oliver. Oh, that's a blast again. So that's his second blast in 2 games. And that gives the Marlins a 1-0 lead there. Solo blast for Joe Oliver. With 2 outs here in the 4th inning. Brings up Brooks Kieschnick, 1-2. Struck out swinging. Alright, so a little mishap by Rosado. Of course, it doesn't help that his team cannot do anything offensively in this game. We are still looking at a goose egg in the hit column. So come on, Charles Johnson, 0-2. That's it to short. And he's thrown out for out number 1. Brings up Billy Doran, 1-1 to Doran. Grounds it to second. And he's thrown out at first. That's out number 2. Reuben Rivera is next. 1-2. And he struck out looking. Alright. We have absolutely nothing going in after 5. That's terrible. And Rosado's pitching pretty well. So Alvaro Espinoza is now the batter for the Marlins. 0-1 to Espinoza. That's it to left, right in front of Calderon, who cannot catch it. So Espinoza gets on base with nobody out. Chris Hammond is next. He's probably going to bunt, and he is. That's a sacrifice hit, sorry. So runner on second base, 1 out. Sean Barry is the batter, 3-2. And he walks. All right. So runners on first and second, 1 out. Mike Bordick is next, 1-2. Grounds it to first, and he's thrown out at first, so the runners advance, just like with a sacrifice hit there. So runners on second and third, 2 outs. Rondell White is the batter, full count. Grounds it to second, and he's thrown out for out number 3. All right, we need a big inning here. All right, come on, Delino. 2-1. That's it to center. That's cut by Kieschnick. That's out number 1. Jose Rosado is next. 0-2. Struck out swinging. Ray Sanchez is next. No count. That's it to short. And he's thrown out. 6 perfect innings for Chris Hammond. And we are going into the bottom of the 6th. Tom Brunansky is going to be the first batter to face Jose Rosado. 1-0. It's a 2 center. And above Reuben Rivera's head. Alright, so that's a double for Brunansky. Mattingly is the batter now. Runner on second, nobody out. Mattingly grounds out to first, and on the play, Brunansky makes it to third base. There's 1 out. Joe Oliver is the batter. No count to him. And we're just going to walk him and enact the double play. With Brooks Kieschnick now the batter. 3-1. That's it to first. Alright, so he's out. So on the play, the runner makes it to second base. So there's runners on second and third, 2 outs, and Alvaro Espinoza is now the batter. No count. We're just gonna walk him and go ahead and face Chris Hammond. 1-0. And he's out. Ground out to first. Alright. So Marquise Grissom is next. 2-2. Grounds it to second, and he's thrown out for the first out. Brett Barberry is next. 2-2. Struck out swinging. Now Ivan Calderon is next. 1-2. That's it weakly to right. Brunansky after it catches it for out number 3. 7 perfect innings for Chris Hammond. Right, Sean Barry is next. 1-2, bottom of the 7th. We're down 1-0 here. And he struck out swinging. Mike Bordick is next. 1-2. Grounds it to short. And he's thrown out for the second out of the inning. Now Rondell White is next. 0-1. Hits it to center. River after it. Catches it for out number 3. Alright, we only have 2 innings left to do something. Alright, Charles Johnson is next. 1-0. Grounds it to short. Ugh, and he's out. 1 out. Billy Doran is next. 2-1. That's it to right for a base hit. We did it. We took away the perfect game in the 8th inning. Thanks to a base hit by Billy Doran. Now Reuben Rivera is next. 1-2. Struck out swinging. Delino De Shields is next. 3-0. And he walks. Alright, so we have runners on first and second, 2 outs. Alright. And you know it. You know who I'm bringing. We are going to go with Johnny Knott. Especially against the lefty there. Right, Johnny Knott comes into the plate. 2 runners on, 2 outs, 1-1. That's it, weakly too short. Not exactly what I was hoping for. And we are out. Alright, so we break out the perfect game bid, but we're still looking at a potential loss here. Okay, so let's do Ben Van Ryn. Right, 1-1 to Brunansky. It weakly towards center. Rivera after it catches it for out number 1. We are still down 1-0. We only have 1 hit to our name. Don Mattingly is next. No count to Mattingly. Grounds it to second. That's 2 outs. Now Joe Oliver is next. 0-1. That's it to center for a base hit. Alright, so with 2 outs, Joe Oliver gets on base. And now Brooks Kieschnick is going to be the batter. 0-1. That's it to left. Calderon after it. And he catches it for out number 3. Alright, so that's our last chance here. If we want to win, we're going to need to do something. So, oh, they're bringing in Andy Hawkins in a save situation. Alright, Ray Sanchez is the batter. 1-1. Probably should have brought Woody Green to bat. Or not. That's a base hit. That works. Alright, so base hit to left for Ray Sanchez. And he has a single, which now brings Marquise Grissom to the plate. No count. It's oh. Grissom hits in a double play. No. So all of a sudden there's 2 outs. And Brett Barberry is the batter. 1-0. That's it to first, and he's out. So we drop game number 3, 1-0. So 7 wasn't the lucky number anymore because we didn't score 7 runs this time. So Rosado gets the loss despite pitching fairly well. We lost 1-0. All right. Alright, so there's been quite a few things going on here. So we have the development update. Yeah, so Carlos Perez is getting worse. Carl Pavano is getting better, except for his control rating, his potential control rating. Katsumasa Ota is also getting a little bit better. That's good. Alright, not a whole lot here. I mean, there's a lot, but a lot of them are like minor leaguers that we have never seen. Sosa caps a great week. So Sammy Sosa is playing with the White Sox. and he was the player of the week in the American League. Van Slyke got the same honor in the National League. The batter of the month in the American League was Sammy Sosa. Rondell White got the honor in the National League. Ben McDonald was the pitcher of the month in the American League. And Pedro Martinez got that in the National League. Carl Everett was the Rookie of the Month in the American League. Rondell White, Rookie of the Month in the National League. And finally, power rankings, we are 24th. Alright, so, looks like next time out it's going to be a 4-game series. So we'll see how I'm going to do that. I don't know if I'm going to do like 4 games in a sitting or cut it in 2 and do 2 sittings of 2 games. But yeah, that's a 4-game series coming against the Cards. Alright, so I want to check. Wow, Calderon is not even in the top 6 now in batting average. He's been really, like, not playing all that well for a while now. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and save again, and I'm going to go ahead and stop here for today. So as usual, I do want to thank you for tuning in, and if you're watching this on YouTube and you've liked the video, please feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that good stuff. And until I roll this game again, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.